And I also seen a couple of things in the chat around Harvey Elliott, and I knew a few of you would have match of the day fever about Harvey. It looks like he's going to leave the club, folks. Now, I know we played a belter for England again today, and congratulations to England on the under-21s making it to the Euros final. But Harvey Elliott will be departing Liverpool this summer because, one, his game time is going to be even more reduced than it was previously, and two, Liverpool and him probably won't need the money, and he needs to go and play football. So I'm sure, and I agree, that he's a brilliant player. You know my thoughts on Harvey. I love him, but one good tournament with Liverpool isn't going to change the fact that we've already got 3 or 4 people ahead of him in the pecking order, and he will probably depart this summer. Might raise his value. Well, certainly that Lukey boy would be a good show. There's certainly the possibility that Harvey Elliott will now attract even more people to him because he's shown what a good footballer he is, and I don't think any of us have ever really doubted what a good player Harvey Elliott is. But unfortunately, when you've brought in Wirtz, and we know Jones is ahead of him in the pecking order, McAllister, Szoboszlai, there just isn't going to be the opportunity for him to get the minutes, and that's what it's about for Elliott. It's not that Liverpool don't like him, it's not that he doesn't like Liverpool, he just doesn't want his career to be petering away while he sits on the bench, and I totally understand that. For us, it's about getting the right move for him, and of course the right deal for the club. Craig reckon we should keep Harvey and Darwin and Chiesa out the window. Again, why would we keep Elliott to stick him on the bench? I know people want to hype him up a bit more because he scored 2 for England today and has had a great tournament, but it doesn't change anything. What you, I, or anybody else thinks is irrelevant because Arne Slot just doesn't want to give him the game time, and he is going to be sold this summer. Even look at him at the end of the season, you could see in the way he was speaking and his body language, he knows he's going to move as well. Now, what it may do, as you've said, is get Liverpool a few more clubs interested and give Harvey many more options. And sincerely, I want Harvey to go and play football, but he won't be doing that at Liverpool, and that's the problem. Where are we gonna find the game time to give to him? It just isn't there. It wasn't there last season, and now we've added more players into that area of the pitch. It's just unfortunately not going to happen. And I say this as an unashamed Harvey Elliott fan. I love the guy. Stick a buyback clause on Elliott's deal might be worth doing. Potentially, yeah. Look, I love Elliott and I don't want him to go. But I can understand the thought process from the club side and from his side. There just isn't the availability to give him the minutes that he needs to really kick on. Players need to be playing at least once a week anyway. And at his age, he doesn't want to be sitting around, and I get it. It's difficult. We all like him as fans, but truth of the matter is, we seen last season, it's not that he wasn't fit. Arne just was not giving him the opportunities, and after bringing in Florian Wirtz, I can't see that changing. Adrian said, I love Harvey and he loves the club, but he's behind Dom and Flo, but hopefully he'll bring a nice fee that will help us buying the players we want. He's also probably behind Curtis Jones, if we're being honest about that as well. Elliott is a genius. I wish Arne would have had more faith in him. Be a huge loss. You do know we've just signed Florian Wirtz, right? And with all due respect to Elliott, who I absolutely love, Florian Wirtz is a potential Ballon d'Or winner who's come into the club. So, let's not make out like we're shafting ourselves here. We're getting rid of a player who the manager doesn't want to give minutes to and who needs to play. So, where are you playing him? Because right now you've got Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch, Wirtz, all ahead of him in the pecking order in one way or another. I know Gravenberch plays in a deeper line position, but even if you take that out, Elliott's not going to play that position. So he's got Jones, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Wirtz, all ahead of him. He's got young Rio coming through, who's going to be an attacking player as well. Just won't be the availability to give it to him. Right wing, he's terrible on the right wing. Have you seen him play out there? He's not the pace to go past anybody. So, again, can debate it all you want, but the facts are out there. The manager doesn't want to give him the game time. So it should be just about trying to get the most money we can and the right move for Harvey. Because, we're all fans of Harvey Elliott. We want him to go and play. Playing with the 21s is a different ball game altogether. Yeah, it is, completely. And he's done brilliant. He's done really, really good. And I'm glad that he's starting to show what he can do because I'm glad more people are getting to see it. We've been big fans of Harvey Elliott here on the channel for many years, but if I was in his shoes, especially with Wirtz coming in, you got to look at last season and just think, right, well, if he wasn't going to get the chances, what are the hopes of him getting it now that we've brought in more talent ahead of him? It's just, we'd be just hoarding a player and begrudging him the chance to go and play regularly, which you need to do at this age. You need to be starting to play regularly. Salah wasn't good enough when we signed him. Things can change. I'd rather keep Elliott than Jones. He's so negative. I've always been an Elliott fan. You can keep cry-arsing, Carl, about this on Discord and in here as much as you want. I've given you my answer multiple times, and it isn't going to change the fact that he's going to leave the club. You know, it isn't. Salah wasn't good enough when we signed him. Well, he was. Should we also use a buyback on Elliott? It depends, because I still believe that the buyback for Kwanzaa was part of the way they were able to afford him, if you get me. I think Liverpool probably had a higher initial valuation of Jarell Kwanzaa, but because of the way the deal worked out, they're willing to take a little bit less. With Harvey Elliott, I wonder if there is going to be a time, especially under this manager, that they would want to buy him back. You know, and it also depends on the buying club as well. Like if he goes to Brighton, as an example, I don't for 1 second believe that Tony Bloom and Brighton are going to accept a buyback clause put into that deal and then pay 40 million quid or whatever. So I wouldn't expect it, but never say never. We deserve Elliott as depth. For what? To sit on the bench? Because the manager's made his mind up on him. So whatever we think is irrelevant. And we have depth. We've just brought in Florian Wirtz. So for 2 attacking midfield positions, we have Wirtz, we have McAllister, we have Szoboszlai, we have Jones for 2 positions. So if you put in Elliott into that mix, you're never going to keep them all happy. They're never going to get enough game time. And that's the thing for Harvey Elliott. Like you said, he doesn't want to sit there and watch his career just go past, even at a club like Liverpool. You want to be out there playing. So yeah, look, I feel really bad that Elliott's going to leave Liverpool because I love him. He's one of my favourite personalities in and around the club. I think he's just a lovely example of a Liverpool player who gets what it's like to be a Liverpool player and carries himself accordingly. But he also deserves to go and play. And you know what? I've no doubt we'll have these conversations where we go, wow, Elliott's tearing it up at Villa or Newcastle or Brighton or wherever, because he's a good guy. He's a good player. It's just unfortunate that for the way the manager wants to play, he seems to maybe edge towards Curtis Jones over Harvey. Just send Elliott on loan if he agrees, much better option. I think you're missing the reason why he's not playing, mate. Sending him on loan if the manager doesn't think he has what it takes to play in his squad and the way he wants to play isn't going to change in a year, So if Arne Slot just thinks that his attributes aren't good enough for the way he wants to play and he sees him week in, week out, day in, day out on the training ground, I don't think a loan's going to change that, unfortunately. And Liverpool couldn't go out there and bring in another player, let's say. We mightn't have the money to bring in a striker or a wide forward or a centre-back if we don't bring in money. We've always been told that this summer we're going to have to recoup some money as well. So, Elliott will be a big chunk of that. You're talking about £40 million there for him. And we're going to have to put that money to use.